Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to more 428 Shibuya Scramble. My name is Raven from the Sky. And let's continue. A frantic looking man had jumped out in front of the car. Whoa, hey! What the heck are you doing? Kano sputtered. The stranger plastered his face against the passenger side window. Open up, he shouted. Open the door. The guy showed every sign of total panic. Junichi Nagashita, something happened just after he parted ways with Minokawa. Now he's running this way in quite a panic, and that... I can jump to Minokawa, but I've already... It's just the thing, I've already done his to be continued. So we're just going to play this thing out, and if something happens, I got to remember I have to come back to this. So I don't get stuck in the loop. Don't do it, Stanley warned. Kano hesitated. It wasn't like they could just drive off with this fellow clinging to the car. Please, you gotta help me. The man slipped his fingers through the gap in the window. His face, trying to force it further open. Help me. Whoa, hold on. What's your deal? Help me. Sir, just tell me what. Help me. Look, up ahead, Stanley exclaimed suddenly. Kano whipped his head around. They're walking along the sidewalk. Ahead was Al Kerwan, very much not in custody. What the heck? Kano tried to jump out of the car, but frantic stranger had gotten his upper body wedged in the window, and the door wouldn't open. Stanley, his usual steel expression replaced with a look of shock. Excited, Kano shouted at the man in the window. Get out of the way. Stanley, wait. All right, get in. This is wrong, because you get the bad ending when we go and tackle him and interrogate him. So that's wrong. So it's either Stanley wait, he may not wait. All right, get in. I'm gonna go with C. Get in. The guy was that desperate to get inside, Kano wasn't about to stop him. Besides, he needed to get the guy to calm down and let go of his arm. Ow! The man yelled. Let go, let go. He was the one holding on. Why was he demanding to be let go? What the heck is going on? Just as Kano's thought was forming, the crazed stranger was yanked back out of the car, dragging Kano with him. Oh, the lone sharks! A pair of rough-looking men had grabbed him by his lower body. No, he screamed. I can't do 80 days, hard labor. Somehow, he was still managing to cling to the car door. Just give it up and let go already, snarled one of the assailants. The pair shifted their grip and pulled even harder. Kano heard the sound of tearing fabric as two toughs tumbled backwards. Just like that, the crazed stranger was stripped down to his boxers. He let out a pathetic wail. Oh, man! The two toughs burst into uproarious laughter at the sight. Now's our chance, Ronan managed to sputter. The pantsless man snatched up his ruined garment and bolted like a startled hare. He darted off incredibly quickly with the manner of a fleeing rabbit. Still cackling madly, his two pursuers rushed after him. Kano was still staring dumbstruck at the spectacle when Stanley returned to the car. Okay, see, now, since something happened, we should be good to go. No luck, I lost track of him. This doesn't make sense, Kano said, forcing himself to refocus on the case. Al Carwin was taken back to the precinct. What's he doing walking free? Stanley gave him a dubious look. Have you seriously not figured it out, he asked? Or is this some kind of strange Japanese joke I'm not getting? What are you talking about? Do you know something I don't? Evidently I do. Your detective Tateno let him go on purpose. So I mean someone's in on it. I take that back. It might not be him. But who knows? He may be playing his role perfectly. You know what I mean? To not draw suspicion. Enraged at the suggestion, Kano took a swing at him, but Stanley coolly caught his fist. It's not me you should be punching, the American warned. It's Tateno. Abashed, Kano radioed up Kuze on the wireless. Sir, did Detective Tateno bring Tariq Al-Karan into the precinct? It would appear that Detective Tateno has gone rogue, Kuze replied with chagrin. Oh, so Tateno's the one in on it. Hey, what? He what? Surely Kano had misheard. We received an eyewitness account someone saw him allowing the suspect to go free. No, it can't be. We currently do not know Detective Tateno's whereabouts, or just what the heck is going on with him. After Kano ended the call, Stanley let out a low chuckle. Heh, I see. Looks like you had a traitor in your midst. Kano grabbed him by the collar. Stanley snorted. What are you trying to pull here? Tell me, what do you know? Kano snapped. All I did is state the facts. Look, I watched that man risk his life to talk down a would-be arsonist. He's a dyed-in-the-wool detective. He'd never betray anybody. I see, Stanley murmured. Then he's the real deal. Kano stared in surprise. He'd expect an argument. Good, he said. I'm glad we're on the same page. Tateno risked his life in order to get people to trust him. He's a dyed-in-the-wool spy, is what he is. Kano didn't have the words. He clenched his clenched fist, trembling once more. He fumbled for his cell phone once again. He dialed Tateno's number. The phone rang 5 times but failed to connect. There has to be a reason for this, Kano muttered. Tateno must know something we don't. Really now, Stanley scoffed. And what makes you so sure of that? Because Detective Tateno was sure this kidnapping wasn't about the ransom. Kano's mind drifted back to 9 o'clock that morning. Ahead of their stakeout at the Scramble, he was walking with Tateno through the halls of the Shibuya precinct. We were going to do a bang-up job out there, Detective Tateno, he chirped. He was maybe a bit too excited about getting to take part in such a major case. Tateno patted Kano on the back. You need to take a step back. You're not letting yourself see the forest for the trees. Or the trees. What do you mean, sir? What I mean is that this is no ordinary kidnapping. Tateno's words triggered a little revelation. You're talking about the location for the ransom handoff, aren't you? Kano said. Does it make sense for the criminals to pick such a major intersection? Warmer, Tateno replied. Kano frowned inwardly. He'd been so sure that that was the answer. Have you thought about why they asked to have the sister make the handoff? Kano thought some more before answering. Because women are easier to deal with. Colder. If that was the case, why not pick the mother? No. What worries me is that the fact that the Osawa girls are twins. They're having to send someone to the handoff who looks identical to the girl they kidnapped. What's going to happen when we do that? What's going to happen, sir? I'm not sure yet, but I have a feeling the kidnapper's playing hinges on it. Through the precinct's main entrance. Up ahead, rows of buildings stood tall against a black backdrop of bright blue sky. Tateno let out a quiet sigh. To think that so many terrible things are happening out there on such a beautiful day. Solve one case and another's waiting. What is it about people that drives them to do such horrible things? So I one kid. Okay. A girl abducted out of the pure greed. When I think of how her parents must feel, almost can't bear it. My father was a raging alcoholic. The house was always a complete mess. He was loud, violent, never had any money, always reeked of booze. My mother, she would cry and cry. I was afraid to come home. Every day I stayed out playing as late as I could possibly manage. Pino could hear the pain in Totino's voice. That life took too much of a toll on my mother. She died when I was still in grade school. My father, he just got worse. I was there with him at the end after he wasted away to almost nothing. Not the sort of childhood I'd ever wish on anybody. Sounds like you already went to. Kano hated himself for uttering such an empty platitude, but Kano, as old as I am, I still don't really know what it is to be happy. I think that's probably because I've never known what it's like to have a happy family. They know sounding so forlorn. The only happiness I know how to protect is other people's happiness. Kano heard of those words, the soul of a true detective. I just hope you're ready. Did his best to keep his voice as calm and level as he could, lifting up his clenched fist. Traffic had finally diminished, and they rapidly drew close to their destination. The syndicate's hangout was in Tomigaya, to the southwest of Yoyogi Park. The ratty building looked like it might come crashing down any minute. The black lodge shine out front looked deliberately ominous. Kano knew the place as a bar frequented by expats from various countries, as well as a hotbed of criminal activity. I'll take point, Stanley said. You back me up. Pulled out a handgun from his suit pocket. It was a compact Glock, a model frequently used by the FBI or CIA. Kano drew his own gun, and the two cautiously made their way inside. At the end of the hallway, a wooden door. Stanley signaled with his eyes. The stench of blood hit them soon as they stepped inside. Kano got a startled grasp. There were nearly a dozen bodies sprawled out across the floor. He recognized them all. All the men who participated in the repeated attaché case handoffs. Each appeared to have been stabbed to death. I've already read this. Stanley took a closer look. The blood's not fully dried. These guys aren't killed that long ago. trace of Maria either. One of the fallen men let out a faint, strange groan. Hey, stay with us. Hey, Hannah called out, stay with us. He hunched down beside the wounded man. Ugh, a brief gurgle rose from the man's throat. He was clearly struggling to say something, but his voice was too gribbled, too indistinct for Cam to make out any coherent words. Kanan. What? She was the one. What was that? But there was no more. The dying man, limp and still. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like and subscribe to the channel and the series grow. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.